Okay, this is the first video for topics. Welcome, students. This is Professor Roldan with 3.1, and it's the first video in the course that we're going to that I'm going to go through and give to you guys for you to fill out your workbook and get the most important nuggets from each section. So, hope you're excited, and remember that you can pause or watch this again and see it whenever you feel best to focus. And so, welcome to the Flipped Classroom. And so let's get started. Okay, so first of all, we got to realize that we're studying logic. And so you may be asking yourself, well, why do we need to study logic? Why is this important? And that's actually a great question that I would like to address at this time. So why is logic important? Well, for a number of reasons. So the study of logic is going to help us to do a number of things. Think clearly, communicate effectively, be able to produce convincing arguments when you're discussing something with someone. Also to see the flaws in their arguments that someone is giving you. Also decision making, programming of electronic devices, and basically everybody has to read legal documents, read the fine print, product instructions, game rules, advertising. So there's a lot of different areas of application. So the study of logic enables us to, one, think clearly. To communicate effectively. Can you imagine if no one made sense in their statements? That wouldn't be very helpful in getting anything done. Arguments, convincing arguments. Decision making. Understanding legal documents. Product instructions, game rules, advertising, etc. Okay. And actually, there's another one, and that is the programming of all of our electronic devices that we have. Computer scientists and programmers have been helping us with so many applications, getting things done on our phones and being able to access different things. So, all right, well, definitely plenty of reasons why we need to study logic. And where did logic come from, by the way? Well, logic basically started with... So logic started with the ancient Greeks. And one particular famous Greek would be Aristotle. Okay, which he lived in 384, 322 BC. Okay, and then from there we've been studying it ever since. So let's get started with some simple sentences. So I'm going to be doing the odd problems, and you can do the even problems on your own. We can do many of those even problems in class as well. So I'm going to be doing number 1. So this says, take the following simple sentences and write as a conjunctive sentence. And a conjunctive sentence is what connects statements using and but. Also, we can have however. You've heard of that, and nevertheless. Those are also conjunctive sentences, or sentences that have a conjunctive word. Okay, so now we have what in symbolic logic we have the symbols for each of these. And the symbol for the first one looks like an upside down V. Okay? Looks like a TP or something. So that's the symbol for and, but, however, nevertheless. And so we're going to write, I'm going to go ahead and take off this for simplicity's sake. Let's go ahead and take off that one, the statement R. And let's take a statement P and statement Q. And so the cat is black. And, or we can put but, depending on if you don't really like the black cats. So we can say the cat is black, and I will pet the cat. Okay? So there's their and right there, or but, or whatever else. A disjunctive sentence, that is going to be an or. Now, the type of or that I'm talking about is the inclusive or. And that means that the or could be one or the other, or both. Okay? So it could be one or the other, or both. Okay? That's the inclusive or. And that's what we're going to be using in this textbook, is the inclusive or. Okay, so the symbol for the or would be a V. A V looking symbol. Okay? So it's the opposite of the conjunctive symbol, or the right side up version of that. So now, just using that, this is not going to make much sense, but the cat is black, or I will pet the cat. Okay. Now let's take a look at the conditional sentence. The conditional sentence is an if-then. So, in technical terms, that's the antecedents. The first part is the antecedent, and the second part is the consequence. In simple terms, that really means the way I'm going to use it and the way I'm going to say it is going to be your premise is the first part, and the second part is your conclusion. Okay? Now, sometimes you can leave out the then, right? So then can be left out. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep it in here. Whoops. So if the cat is black, then I will pet the cat. Okay, so that seems to indicate some type of preference towards black cats. But there's your or for that one. Here's the if and the then. Okay, the symbol for that is going to be an arrow pointing to the right. All right, so let's take a look at our last symbol. Would be the biconditional sentence. Okay, the biconditional is if and only if. And we can actually abbreviate that with just, and you'll see me do this later, IFF. Okay, IFF, if and only if. Okay, and so if I use that, actually the symbol is an arrow with going to the left and to the right. So it goes in both directions. And so I can make sense out of this and say, I will pet the cat if and only if the cat is black. Okay. So let's kind of put this in perspective with some more statements that we would, typically say on a typical day. So we have statement P, which is it is going to rain, and statement Q, the cloud is dark. So we need to translate these sentences into symbols. All right. So again, I'm going to do the odd only. And so for number 3, we have the cloud is dark. That is Q. Or, so that is the V looking symbol. And I'm going to write Q with this here so that you don't confuse it with a 9. Okay. And it is going to rain as P. So that's how you write Q or P. Number 5, it is going to rain if and only if the cloud is dark. So there's my key phrase. So it is going to rain, that's P, if and only if the cloud is dark. And that's Q. Okay, are you catching on? All right, we're just translating these sentences into symbols using symbolic logic. All right, let's go to 7, and you can do the evens on your own. it is going to rain if the cloud is dark. So that is an if-then statement, a conditional statement, but the if is first. So that means we're going to do the cloud is dark, which is Q, and make the arrow go towards it is going to rain, which is the P. Okay. All right, so you can go ahead and try those on your own without looking at the answer key. And let's go to the next page. Okay, so now we're on the next page, number 9, and we need to translate 3 statements into symbols. Okay? So we have, let's see here, number 9 says P or R. Oh, sorry, P and R. P and R. So that means so this is going to be and, so I need to write the tree will grow and I will not get dirty. Okay. Number 11, there's an or there. So P or Q means the tree will grow or I will water the tree. Okay. Number 13, R then Q. So if R then Q. So if, oh wait, this is if then. So if R, if I will not get dirty, then I will water the tree. And just to show you that if you take out the then, it'll still work. If I erase the then part, we still talk like that. If I will not get dirty, I will water the tree. Okay, so the then is not needed necessarily. Okay. Okay, 15, R or Q. So I will not get dirty. Or I will water the tree. Okay. All right. So here's the answer key for those. If you want to work on the even problems without looking at that, and then you can check yourself later. So let's go to the next page. Okay, so the next part has to do with negations. We're going to add some negations in here. And so the symbol for negation will be, it looks like a little squiggly line. And that just means not. We negate whatever is being said. We negate it. For example, the sky is blue. So that's P. Statement P is the sky is blue. Well, the negation of P, or what we call not P, would be that the sky is not blue. Okay? The sky is not blue because of the negation symbol right there. Okay? Another one would be If Brittany does not like logic, then negation of that will make it Brittany does like logic. So all we're going to do is take out the not. Okay? It's like having a double negative. In algebra, the double negatives cancel each other out, making it positive. So it's very similar to that situation. And then number 2 here, it is false that the sky is blue or the grass is green. So we'll just assume that the first statement is a P and the second statement is a Q. So we can say, okay, if it is false that the sky is blue, then we're going to say we're going to negate P, or the grass is green. Let's just say that's Q. All right. And it is false that it is a sunny day. Let's just assume that's P. So it is false. It is a sunny day. Then, so we got the then part. So that means this is a conclusion, or the if-then statement. Then Laura will go to the beach. Lauren will go to the beach. We'll just say that's Q. Okay. So now let's take a look at translating into English the following set of symbols, given that statement P, the food smells good. Q says I like pizza. R is I will not eat the pizza. All right, so remember I'm going to do the odds. So the first one says if P then not R. Okay, if P then not R would be this. If the food smells good, then I will eat pizza. So P is, okay, so this is an if then, and then the not there. So if the food smells good, then, and then we're going to negate R. So R has a not in it, so we're going to take that not out. I will eat the pizza. Okay, number 3. Number 3 has parentheses. And we have the not, and we have or. So the way to do that, let me just do the parentheses first. So P or Q, let's just do the parentheses first. The food smells good, or I like pizza. And what we're going to do is put the negation of both of those will be outside the parentheses. So we're going to say that it is false. That it is false that the food smells good or I like pizza. Okay? So don't distribute that negation sign. Leave it outside. Okay, number 5 has, we're going to negate Q and R. Okay, so number 5, we're going to say it's an if then. And then with the negations here, not and not. So Q, I don't like pizza. Or if I don't like pizza, then I will eat the pizza. So that doesn't really sound like it makes sense, but we're just using the symbolic nature of logic and applying it to those three statements. It doesn't really matter if they're valid or if they're true. We're just practicing writing the symbols and writing and translating the symbols as well. All right, so let's go to number 7. So number 7, you see there's a grouping symbol, and then it has a part to the right here. So we need to do what's in parentheses first. So this is a if and only if. Okay, so let's go ahead and negate Q. So I don't like the pizza. Whoops. If and only if, and then negate P. So the food does not smell good. Okay. So we just did that big grouping symbol. So now we need to go ahead and put a comma. Okay. So the comma separates the grouping symbol or the parentheses from any other part of the sentence. So this right here is going to be all in one side of the comma. Okay. So we'll just put the left side of the comma, and then this is the right side of the comma. Okay, so now we need to focus on the other symbol, which is and are. And are, I will not eat the pizza. Okay, looks good. Feel free to pause and try to digest all of that. But we're going to keep going and keep practicing on the next page. Okay, so on the next page we have different types of negations for different types of words and situations. So I don't know, I'm not sure why there's some letters missing here, but it should say none. Okay, so all or none, right? It's either all. Some people say, hey, it's either all or nothing as a way to describe your two options. But here, when we are negating, those are not the correct negations of all or none. Okay, it's actually, so let's say all are whatever. Well, the negation is that at least one is, right? Or we can say some are not. Okay, that's the negation of all. All right, so let me just put correct negations. Okay. So the negation of all are is some are not. And, okay, so how would you negate none? Well, it's not all, okay? It's not all or nothing. It's if none are, then some are. So notice that both negations have to do with some. Either some are or some are not. Okay, so it's focusing on the few. Where, so down here, you're focusing on the few are or few are not. Here, you're saying all are or all are not, which is none. Okay, so just keep that handy as we go through this. So let's start with number 9. So number 9, everyone is going to the concert. So the negation is not no one is going to the concert. The negation of all, this is based, everyone is the same as all are. So everyone, so there's the negation is, well, there's at least one person that's not going. So we'll say someone is not going to the concert. And I'm not going to continue the sentence. I'm just going to fix the negation, okay? So number 11, all students study very hard. I'm going to say, okay, that some don't. Some students don't. Don't study very hard, and don't, whatever the case is. So, okay. All right, so number 13, no one will get wet. So the negation is not all will get wet. The negation is, if you follow the arrow over here, so no one would be in this region, so that means some are, or someone will. So someone will get wet. Okay. Number 15, she did not cook a nice supper. Now this one didn't use any special words that we just were discussing. This is just, hey, let's negate the not, so let's just take it out. Okay, so that means she did cook a nice supper. And then 17, some cats are cute. So the negation of the some would be no cats are cute. And then number 19, no trees are tall. Well, the negation would be some trees are tall. Okay. All right, well, let's go to the next page. And we're going to continue this theme. Okay, so someone will go hiking? No one. Andrew likes to play soccer? Well, that's easy. Andrew does not like to play soccer. Okay, we're just adding the not in there. 25, all rocks are hard. The negation would be some rocks are hard. 27, our last one for this section, until we get to another type of directions. And it says, some girls play soccer, so no girls play soccer. Okay. Now, rewrite the following sentences in symbolic form. Let me go ahead and change it up real quick with showing you guys table 3.1. So this is a summary of what we've been talking about. And now we're going to put it all together in the last few exercises here. Okay. So you have the negation. Okay. You have the conjunction, which is the and. You have the disjunction, which is the or. You have the conditional, which is the arrow, the if then. The biconditional is the two-directional arrow, if and only if. Okay? So now let's put all this together. Right here. Okay, so let's do number 29. And this has to do with three statements. P, no math is logical. Q, some logic makes sense. And R, everyone likes logic. So number 29 says some math is logical and everyone likes logic. So we can tell what our symbol is going to be right here. That's connecting the two statements. And then so the left side of the symbol is some math is logical, which is the negation of P, because P says no math is logical. So that would be the negation of P. And everyone likes logic is basically just R. Okay, so let's go to number 31. We have an if then, so we know we're going to have a nice one directional arrow going to the right. So the left side of that arrow is going to be no logic makes sense. So that is the negation of Q, because Q says some logic. So the negation of Q. And then the right side, someone does not like logic, which is the negation of R. All right, let's do number 33, and I'm going to go ahead and do number 34 to finish this off. So, no logic makes sense if and only if someone does not like logic. So we see our symbol right here that we're going to have to use, which is bidirectional arrow. And on the left side of that symbol would be no logic makes sense. So that is the negation of Q. And on the right side of the arrow, the bidirectional arrow, you have someone does not like logic, so that is the negation of R. Okay. And the last one, it is false. Okay, so I showed you this previously. It is false that. That is basically a negation of a group. Okay, and that group is with the and. Everyone likes logic is going to be R, and some logic makes sense is Q. Okay. All right, I want to do a few problems from the textbook just to give you some extra problems that we haven't seen yet necessarily. So let's go to the next page. So the next page, you have the answer key. And on this answer key page, there's some space that we can actually do a little bit more work. So I just want to say that, hey, if you want to do some extra practice, then I would recommend pages 98 through 100, numbers 7 through 55. So again, this is only if you want extra practice. Then you should do some more problems from the book. Okay? and those are the ones I recommend. So I want to go ahead and do number 47. Number 47 has two statements. Joe has an iPad, and Q, Bree has a MacBook. Okay, and it wants us to translate this negation outside of the group again. Okay, so that is going to be so remember, this part is going to be it is false that. Okay, it is false that what? It is false that P and Q. It is false that P and Q, so that's going to be it is false that Joe has an iPad and Bree has a MacBook. Okay, so don't try to distribute. So don't distribute the negation to both terms. Okay, don't try to do like, Joe doesn't have an iPad and Bree does not have, we'll be doing stuff like that later, but just for now, you need to practice leaving it the way it is, because there is a special thing you have to do to distribute the negation sign, and that is to reverse the inside sign. So let's not get into that right now. So just wanted to warn you to keep it exactly the way you see it and translate the negation outside as it is false that. Okay, and one more, number 49. Number 49 is, well, actually, I think I have a picture somewhere. Okay, here's 49. So 49 says the temperature is 90 degrees and the air conditioner is not working, comma, and the apartment is hot. So we have three statements and we have a comma. So if you remember from the previous couple pages, we mentioned that the comma, so the commas are used to group statements using parentheses. So that's what we're going to have to do here as we write this in symbolic form. So let's find that comma right there. Okay, so that means that we have a group on the left side of the comma, and then on the right side of the comma we have the and. So that's going to be and, let's start with that. And the apartment is hot, and the apartment is hot is just R. So the comma is basically saying that this part is a group. Okay, let's go look for the symbol for that inside. So we see and again. Okay, so and goes in there. So the temperature is 90 is just P. The air conditioner is not working is actually the negation of Q, because Q says it is working. So negation of Q. Okay, so that is how you deal with commas. All right, so that is it for this video, and we will discuss this more in detail, doing some of the evens and answering your questions in class and getting some of your work done. So we will see you in the next video.